first I want to thank the Sunny Show for inviting me back. I had a real good time here the last time with the other brothers I hear, Jamal Johnson and Jose, and we talked about some things that this city needs as far as our youth is concerned. I just want to give some encouragement to our community. And I don't want to get nobody get it misconstrued. I'm not prejudiced in no shape, form, or fashion, but the black community, the young black men are dying at an alarming rate. And I just want us as men to come together as a whole and try to help these young men from dying. I'm very adamant, I'm very passionate about saving our youth from dying and going to the penitentiary. It's an epidemic proportions. The young men don't believe in nothing. I was just talking to a young lady here in the studio about how they don't have no hopes, don't have no dreams, they don't have no aspirations. At 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, they don't even have a clue of what they want to be. They're so caught up in the right now and what they're doing, and they're okay with it. They're so accustomed to their peers dying at a young age that they don't think they could live to be my age or even older. So, I just want to, once again, I want to thank the Sunny Show for giving me a platform to come back here. I have a program called Real Men Saving Lives, where I mentor and counsel young men on the pearls of drugs and alcohol, the street violence, crime, and any way, shape, form, or fashion I can help them live a better quality life. That's what my program is geared to doing. Once again, Real Men Saving Lives. I'm on Facebook, Derek Brown, Instagram, Cloud130962. Get at me. I'm here to help. Contact me.
Well, how you doing? Yeah, we on. Yeah, we on. I appreciate you coming on here. Coming back again, rather.
Appreciate you having me.
Sharing your story. For those who don't remember, I had a group of men on here, and y'all just busted up, spoke about our youth, our black youth, and all that's needed within the communities. And there's a lot needed within the communities. Truth be told, there's a lot of resources out here. We just don't know that they exist.
Wow, tap into it.
Yeah, or how to tap into them. Because before we went live, we were actually talking about our youth and not being able to tell time and a lot of other things. And it's kind of sad that some of them probably do have a little guidance, but haven't tapped into it. So the thing is, how do you get them encouraged? Like the young lady said, hey, they don't want to go to school. And it's kind of sad during slavery time. We couldn't wait to go to school. It was beaten if we were trying to learn. Now we can't get y'all to go to school.
The young men are so opposed to education.
Yes.
Right? It's so sad. I see it every day in the facility I work at. They are so, listen, I asked a young man how many days was in a year. And he said, what do I need to know that for? Right? Right? And then I said, how many weeks in a month? And he said 3. It's sad that they don't even, I said, listen, you need to know how many days in a year. Bills have to be paid, to keep track of things, you know how many weeks in a month. And then, and I was just telling a young lady, there was a couple young men on my facility that's 15 and 6, don't even know how to tie their shoes. That's why they wear their shoes untied and tucked in. So it's it's an epidemic of proportions. I can't emphasize that enough, right? But when you don't know how many days are in a year, that's sad. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm gonna do my best. That every ounce of strength God gives me to try to help me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give up. And I was telling last time I said how programs come and they start like a house on fire and then they fizzle out. And they shut right down. I don't want to be that. I want to keep going on. I'm going to try to recruit as many men as I could possibly get to help me. And I want to collaborate with other organizations because we need to do something. I want to say this real brief. Saturday, May 4th, I'm at Germantown at a rally that was put together by our funeral director, Darren Bartlett. I'm going to give the flyers in my phone. But it's Saturday in Germantown. Before I go up, I'm going to pull it up so I can let y'all know where exactly it is. But I'm going up there and we're going to try this a town meeting for the community coming together. A town hall meeting. So, that's what I'm going to find it while I'm here on the air and just get the information about it. But, it's sad what's going on right now.
So how does anybody, the youth, what is the age for the youth program that you have? And, what do y'all do with these youth? Because here's the thing, we have a lot of organizations out here proclaiming to help, and they just get a a lot of the money and they generate a little bit of their time and resources.
Well, I don't exactly have an age category. I'm here to help all youth and young men. And I have a lot of access to other men that are wanting to help. For instance, I have a friend named Lamont McLaurin who has a program through his church where you can get your high school diploma, not your GET, your high school diploma. I have another friend who is my brother-in-law, Tracy Fisher. He has a program to stop recidivism called Gateway to Entry after he did 22 years in the federal penitentiary. I have a friend, Joel Say, who has a program that honors his son. You know what I mean? And we trying to, and I'm collaborate with a gentleman named Mike Monroe who has a barbershop called ESPN Zone, and we're going to try to develop a program we could get the kids job skills and teach them job readiness and how to fill out an application. So we're doing a lot of things. We could just say we want to help them, but once you come to them and ask them for some help, you got to have something for them to do.
Absolutely.
You just can't come to them and say, we want you to stop hanging on the corner selling drugs, we want you to stop carrying a gun. What's the alternative to that?
Absolutely.
So we got to give them an alternative. Like you can go back to school, get your GED, and you could possibly go to community college. Whatever the case may be, you could learn a trade. I have a friend that has his own construction company, Harold Hall, that's willing to teach the kids how to do contract work. So there's a lot of things in place that that's available to them. Right? They just got to latch on to us, and we got to be more vigilant in trying to pull them to us so we can keep teaching those things. Because like I said, like they don't want to go to school, and college is not for everybody.
Right.
Right? But if you got a trade, you can get a job.
Oh, yeah,
So we gotta come together, and that's a lot of men that knows what I'm doing that are willing to help, like teach these kids something, right? So those are the alternatives that you said. What do we have to offer them? We can tell them to stop, but if they stop, what are they gonna do? Because you know what they gonna say, how I'm gonna make money. We gonna teach you how to make money.
You have to have an outlet. If you're gonna take something from someone, you have to replace it with something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the vocations like carpentry, electrician, and plumbing, and barber, and vocations like that, they're not as glamorous as they would like to be, because they're under this delusion that life is supposed to be glamorous because they watch too much TV. You know what I mean? So that's the main issue that I face. I started a painting company about 7 years ago. I had 15 people, 15 black men working. You know, we faced a lot of obstacles. Most of them were ourselves. You know what I mean? By them just coming out. Right. I employed a lot of people that were still in the halfway house, or you know what I mean, fresh out. And a lot of times they weren't ready. You know what I mean? They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready. I wanted for them to be ready, you know, but they weren't ready. So I'll get the call, hey bro, hey man, my girl called me. I'm about to go see her real quick, and then I'll be the word.
Yeah.
Or yeah man, I'm hungry man. I'm on time, but I want to stop and get something to eat. So you want something to eat?
Priority.
No, I ate already. I ate at 5:30 this morning. You know what I mean? So
It's ironic you brought up the halfway house, because I work part-time at the halfway house for the Department of Corrections, self-help movement, and also work on the rehab side. A lot of dudes come home from upstate, from the penitentiary, right? And I mean, they want to get themselves together, right? But they don't want to take no suggestions, right? They don't understand that your way got you here, right? And like, you know, man, I see a lot of young guys, 24, 25, 26, that's young, right? You have a lot of life left in you.
absolutely.
And if you take some suggestions and learn how to listen, then, you know, and that's the struggle they face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have no consistency in what they're doing, and their priorities are messed up.
Yeah, you know, that all comes from upbringing, man. You know, I can't stress enough how big parenting should be.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of us leave parenting to everyone else except us. You know, the TV has to parent, the teachers in school have to parent. You know what I mean? But where we fall short is none of them care.
You know,
So what they teach the child, there's no care.
it's funny you talking about parenting. I do a lot of research, right? And I found out, right, that almost 100%, almost 100% of the households where these young men are raised are women, right? 80% of the people that go to school, the teachers are women. So they have a lot of their upbringing. Not saying a woman can't teach you nothing. I don't want that to get that misconstrued to the audience listening, right? But these men are being raised by women, and where are the men at? Right? I'm fortunate that even though I made a lot of mistakes in my life, I have a great relationship with my son. I have a 3-year-old grandson. I was with him yesterday. We went and had water ice and hung out for a minute. And I was able to mend those fences and still be able to be a good father and give him some suggestions. You know, he just told me he's about to get a CDL license and he works every day. He's a good father. And I would like to think I had to play the part in that.
Right.
But now the men are so absent. And even with the young ladies, these young ladies, if you look around, some of these young ladies out here, they're worse than the kids, or the men, the guys. The way they talk, the way they carry themselves, the way they dress. You see a 14-year-old girl walking down the street, you know, they're built different than when I was young, and they got no clothes on. Now, who let that little girl come out the house like that?
Father, what mother let you come out the house? Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? We have an uphill battle, right? Right? We have a tough road to hoe, right? But I believe if we stay firm in our beliefs, man, we stay passionate, stay adamant, we can change some stuff. You know what I mean? I remember last time I was here, I was telling her that I was in a barbershop. And the guy said, man, I don't got to see these young kids no more. But I said, if everybody takes that stand, right, then we ain't gonna never change nothing. But the minute something happens to one of your family members, your daughter, your son, then you want to be reactive, right? How about being proactive and let's stop it right now? Let's get the street and stay in the street. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's where I'm at, man. I pull up on young boys on the corner. I'm not scared. I get out. What's up? What y'all doing?
Yeah.
I mean, what I mean?
A lot of times, myself, I'm 777 miles away from my children, you know, but thanks to technology, I see them and speak to them daily and try to like armchair quarterback from here, you know, to kind of call the plays, and a lot of times they listen, you know what I mean, but that just goes to say that you don't have to physically be somewhere to alter the course, you know what I mean? You don't have to be able to put your hands on it, as long as some people just need to hear that voice.
You know, what I'm learning with our youth for today is that a lot of times when you talk at them, you push them away. You gotta ask them, like, what do you think we can do for you to help you? What do you think you need to better your situation?
You have to meet them where they are.
Yeah, and a lot of times also, people come into their lives and they leave, so they lack trust. Like my daddy wasn't here, my uncle wasn't here, my big brother's incarcerated, my dad's incarcerated. My cousin said he's gonna come pick me up, take me to the movies, but he didn't. So now when men like me and you come into their lives, and we're not consistent, right? And we here one day, but they call us, we're not there the next day. Then they're like, man, I don't believe nothing over here saying. We ain't gonna come through.
Absolutely.
That's it, you know what I mean? But when you show them you there for them, like, I'm gonna help you get a job. I'm gonna help you get your education. I'm gonna help you get your diploma. I'm gonna help you get in a better situation. You just gotta be willing to stop doing what you're doing. But once you stop, I'm here to help you. And I'm gonna even keep coming at you while you're doing it, just try to get you to stop. You know what I mean? But once they see that you're consistent with them and you sincere, you know what I mean, you can get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe this. I don't believe that they're hopeless.
No, I don't believe they're hopeless. I believe that we have to meet them where they are. Today, it's sad to say, but it's a harsh reality. You don't need school to be successful.
It's a harsh reality.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go to school to become a millionaire.
And that's what
Now, when you say school, you mean college?
I mean school, period.
Because
You mean to become a millionaire?
Right.
I got you.
Some of the people that they look up to, right? Some of them haven't went to school.
Yeah.
Right? That's a rarity. It's
That's
few and
what
far
they
between.
see.
You know what I mean?
That's what they see, and they just, you know, they grasp a hold of that and run with it. But so my son, for instance, he likes video games, like 80% of the children his age, right? But there is a platform for guys and girls like that who love to play video games, to play video games and get paid. So now it's up to us as the leaders of today to not shoo them away from us. We have to meet them where they are. Okay, this is what they want to do, so now we have to kind of adapt our approach to meet them. So if you want to play video games, we say, okay, you need to make money, you need to earn a living for yourself. You want to play video games? Here's a list of companies that you can call to try to get a job at playing video games. You know what I mean? That would, I think, will have a better impact than us saying, put those video games down and come on out here and, do what I do. Oh, Dad, I seen you working hard all of your life and you're struggling to pay the bills. I don't want to do that. And you can't blame them. You know what I mean? So we have to meet them where they are and speak their language in order to kind of.
Can I just it's been a month. It's been over let's say a month, and it's been over a month. So I'm adamant on the less fortunate. Y'all call the homeless. I pretty much like to stay in touch with things I'm familiar with. So there was some sort of a gathering that was supposed to have taken place City Hall. We get there, a young couple walks by, she's 8 months pregnant, her boyfriend in tow, and they stop. All because of a gentleman that had on the color shirt. They stop, and of course, I'm overhearing the conversation because she's using a lot of negative words and profanity. So we gradually go over to where they are. Long story short, they're both homeless. They're talking about, how they wait until it's clear and then stash their stuff, because underneath the steps. Long story short, what started out maybe about 6, 7, ended off with like 5. So I'd already had supplies here because I had already had donations and stuff here. I could not get rid of them. When I tell you I was doing Facebook Live showing people the stuff here, I could not get rid of them. So okay, come here, me and the gentleman come here, we grab all the stuff that I can give away to them, stuff I promised other people no. So we walk it over to the house. By the time we get over to the house, the lady that had promised to let them stay there for 3 days said they could stay there until they find a place. Wow. So let's just cut to the chase. The young gentleman in question needed a lot of help because y'all spoke on trust. And his mother died when he was young. Young lady did some healthcare work, and because she was close with the mom, said, hey, I'll take care of your son. She, in turn, wound up abusing the son. So he ran away. Long story short, now in 2019, we get a hold of him. His eyes are really bad. To the point where the lady that now is taking care of him wound up getting his prescriptions ready and stuff. So it's going to be an extra week because they're thick and the medicine and everything. But I say these because there are a lot of our youth that are outside that y'all look at, and I'm going to say it like I tell everybody, like they're the scum of the earth. And that one young man, all because of her, all he needed was what somebody is doing now, was just somebody to just grab hold of him. That young man is now getting, he's getting counseling. He's getting, a disability check. He's getting the glasses. The lady has extended her home from the 3 days until he gets a place. They're literally working on getting him a place. He had a job, but he couldn't keep the job because he needed glasses. When I first met him, his words were, okay. So for those who don't know what I just did, every time you asked him a question, he put his head down. I mean, yes, to the point now where he no longer, and he has twists. So the more he twists, the more yeah. So now it's no longer, and he used to smoke weed. He no longer smokes. But I say this because there are a lot of us who are homeless, who have mental illness. They may not be homeless, but they're in your reach who have mental illness that needs help. I get the part that you get the ones that come to you, you reach out to you, but I'm looking at this young man and I'm telling you, God has not stopped from the day we met him doing when I tell you every day I can call and that lady give me a story, every day, it's not a pause. It's not even a period. It's every day there's something. He's just I'm like, yo, are you serious? I've seen God do some stuff. I've never seen that. So I commend, you, because you were here before, I commend y'all doing, y'all positive stuff with the youth. And I get sometimes our youth get to the point where they smell themselves. I mean, hey, I got this, I don't need no help. Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah, you do. Some of y'all have been out there, for those that are listening, have been out there in the streets for so long, hanging with your friends that y'all think that, hey, y'all know it all. But deep down inside, it's that one out there group that wants somebody to pull them to the side, but a little scared, a little intimidated. It's like, oh, they're going to laugh and tease at me. Laugh and let them tease at you. I'd rather you better yourself than not to better yourself and come back later and do what I call that wishing game. I wish I had to listen. I wish I wasn't there. I wish you have all up until that wishing game. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I hear y'all talking about grabbing these youth and your programs and getting them to trust in everybody. And this young man, all because of that young lady, it was like, wow. And
Somebody
somebody
took the time out to help,
took,
and guess what? He's going to develop some trust.
yes.
Like he's going to realize that everybody's not just doesn't say things; they really mean what they say.
And he actually said, I love you. And you know, like when she told me that, I'm like, wow, I had to cry. It's like, wow. Yeah, so, you know, I commend y'all, you know, for out here, who are out here, especially you, Mr. Derek Brown, you know, what these real men saving lives, because the words are just powerful, you know. That just his caption alone, you know, saving a life, because we all need our lives, you know, being saved.
You know, when I came up with that, like I said, in 2014, I put together a youth rally in Carroll's Park, Freeman Thompson, and it went off real well. And when I picked that name, I said, what can I call my organization, right? Because we had so many, men and women for human excellence and this and that, but saving the life is what we geared to. Because you can stop a person from, like I said, smoking weed, getting high, being homeless. Like you actually being a part of saving their life and helping them move forward and achieving something in their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I understand because, like, listen, I got shot up, right? Couldn't hoop no more. Thought the world was coming to an end. Did a whole lot of unscrupulous things, right? Somebody reached out and helped me.
Yeah, sometimes all it takes is a word. Just the other day, I was downtown, and it was a lady behind me, and we were about to go in the Wawa. And I said, come on, lady, and I held the door for her. She said, thank you, I needed that. And I'm looking at her like, you needed what? She needed to be called lady.
Who knows what she been called prior to you calling her?
Exactly. Exactly. And she said, I really appreciate you, brother. And I'm still sitting here, lost. But it really, opened my eyes to that. A word, just a word.
It's been heavy on my heart. The last time I was here, I told him I was riding down the street and I seen 4 kids jump out of the car and jump on another boy and began to beat him up. And I pulled over and I jumped out and I stopped him. And each time I went back around to see if this young man was okay, I know the first time when they said he had a concussion and all that, right? But I haven't, I've been stopping by, I don't have his number, I don't have the parents' number, but I've been stopping by to see how he's doing. Because I want to know, and I want to know that I didn't just bring him home that day.
Right.
That I'm interested in his well-being.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because who knows what would have happened if I didn't stop my car and jump out. And the way they was beginning the beating, he could have turned into something bad.
Absolutely.
So, I've been trying to find him and go by his house, but every time I go by, no one's there or he's not there. So I'm going to continue and let him know, I'm trying to put together a youth breakfast and I want him to be a part of it. So I want him to be a part of it.
A lot of times I believe that the best way to reach people is our personal success. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, most of the youth are idolizing the big chains and the cars and the women. You know what I mean? So when an everyday Joe like you or I walk, try to say something to them, then they don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Their friend may want to hear it, but the one that you want to grab, he's just not hearing what you have to say.
And one of the things that I think that helps me is I kind of look like him a little bit. Tattoos, and I still kind of wear the up-to-date stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And So if that's what's going to get you to listen to me, then I'm gonna use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to by any means
Any means
necessary.
necessary.
We have we have to do it.
You know what? Before, because I'm gonna ask, because I was trolling. Is that the word trolling?
Trolling.
get that part, freedom of speech, I get that. But there's an exception, there's a twist to the law. I have the right to say what I want to say to a degree. I can't cry wolf. Like, you can't do that. But what happened was, I was watching this video. White supremacist, quote unquote, according to the judge who found him on Facebook, he's a white supremacist. So he kept exercising his freedom of speech, the First Amendment, because some of the things that he was posting were pertaining to the black community. And he kept referring to it as it was just a stunt, a stint. It's just something, we talk about, we joking about on the radio. It's not true. It's just something I made up in my head. But the thing was, he was exercising, he was trying to justify saying how he's an ENT worker. So that's even kind of eerie.
That's scary.
He's ENT, so to know that, hey, I'm unconscious, a black woman or a black man, and
This white supremacist.
and I got this white supremacist, but he was, in one of his stories, he was saying how he was chasing the young men or youth with long needles, trying to poke them. The judge didn't find anything humorous because the judge, again, was trying to justify it being humorous. It was just a joke. So he said, I've been an ETN for years. I've worked with a lot of them, and he named them, Jews, Muslims, blacks. He didn't find anything funny or about that. He thought it was offensive. I like the judge, because he's white, he stood up, but the fact that he was exercising, and I get the part, it was a joke, but what is your thoughts on how far do you think a joke goes with a joke?
My honest opinion, I don't think anything's funny or you can make a joke about racism or white supremacy in any shape, form, or fashion. Because just to think about me being unconscious and a person that doesn't really like black people has my life in his hands, that's a scary thought. And as far as it being a joke when he want to run around sticking black boys with needles, who knows what's in those needles?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What is he trying to inject them with? So I don't think that's a joke, but I think he tried to guise his hatred as a joke.
Right.
I don't really think it was a joke. I just think he wants to let the judge portray to the judge as a joke so he can get off or less time, whatever the case may be. But I don't actually think it was a joke at all. I think he really was serious about doing it. It wasn't a joke at all. I just think it's nothing funny about it. My personal opinion is there's nothing funny about it. He should get whatever his hand calls for.
So all they did was just fire him.
And see, is that enough?
That's what it was. It was just,
now, that takes me to the story I just heard. I don't know how it's true. I just heard about the man and woman in the car, and the cops just walk up and start. Matter of fact, D.L. Hootie was talking about it. And they walked up to the car and they just automatically started shooting.
Yeah.
Now, D.L. Hootie said, when do they train the police officers to do that?
And then they lied about it.
Right.
The guy was trying to say that they shot first, and just so happened it was a camera up, but then his body.
They didn't even have no gun.
But to know that his body camera caught the whole thing, I don't know how he sort of kind of.
My question is, firing them just enough?
No. In my opinion,
they should be the due process of law. They should be convicted as murderers, and they should be convicted of homicide or whatever if the people die or attempted murder, and they should get the same question that me and you went outside and shot somebody. They should get the same thing.
But more than likely, what happens is they get fired with the intent that some other police department can pick them up.
Wow, and that's sad.
That's kind of sad to know that you did something wrong here, and then they go to pick you up. We won't know until you do something over here.
I seen a picture on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram where the cops had raided a place and they all had their hand like this, and that's the sign of a white supremacist group. And the cops were visibly doing that in the picture. So the caption was, "What happened to them? This is a indication that they are white supremacists, but they're peace officers. They're supposed to be enforcing the law. But when you have people like, listen, I just believe, man, that the hiring process and the psychological evaluations they do for hiring police officers is so far in the dark ages. Because we need to find out they need to do a more thorough background check. These cops are getting hired and they don't.
I don't think no matter what you do, because it is that blue code. Again,
black cops were shooting
But I don't
other
know,
people
but I
like that,
don't
would
know
that,
if y'all
would
know
they get off like
about,
that?
but those people in other countries, when they don't like what happens,
Change it.
they come out full force.
They change it.
There's no such thing as I gotta go to work. No, they come out until a change comes. We don't do
We
that.
don't do
We
that.
do a 15 minutes of fame.
Reactive.
Johnny got
Just
shot,
reactive.
and we come out and we bring our candles. We come together. We pray.
Teddy bears
15
and
minutes
candles.
later, I can tell you what happened to Genesis 6. When Trayvon Martin got killed, Delaware did their little peace march. The guy called me up and said, "Can you come down and do the speech?" It was like, cool. I didn't know where they were. So I'm thinking they were on one side, they were on the other side. So anyway, I'm asking the gentleman where he at, and I don't know anything about it. So he wanted to know. I'm like, okay, this is why, but I didn't mind doing it. My thing is, what do you do after that? Because I told him, I was like, okay, that's the same thing with Genesis 6. He was like, well, what's Genesis 6? I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. 15 minutes of fame. Everybody went down there. Jesse Jackson
Everybody
just
went
like
down there, it lasted
Yup,
for
and-
maybe a week or so.
Yup, and that was it.
But
Jesse stayed, but just like the white people said, y'all outsiders, y'all gonna go home. We gotta deal with this. Right. So right after they went home, who stayed back down there? Because the black men are still in jail. So what happens then?
And that's what I be talking about, like when things happen in our community or happen to us, we're reactive, right? Right, we're reactive. But if we be proactive and keep trying to change it, keep working to change it, keep fighting to change it, keep adamant about changing it, keep being persistent about changing it, then it will change. We just want to do it when something happens, something happens to these people, or something happens, and then we out there 15 minutes instead of fame. It lasts for a few days. It's on social media for a few days, and then you'll hear nothing about it.
Yeah, that's
It didn't go. The problem didn't go away because it's evident because it keeps happening.
Yep.
I find that most of our problems now are self-inflicted in this sense, right? I know I might get a lot of people raise their eyebrow at me, but in this sense, a lot of us aren't involved in the political process.
My vote don't count no how.
Right.
Yeah, they do. You vote, I vote. That's just three right there.
We're not involved in the political process.
That's crazy when they say that.
We don't have town hall meetings in the neighborhood. We don't, right? We see politicians when it's election time, right? There's nobody to hold those higher ups accountable, you know? If we had someone, a senator that was representing our interests, so then when something happens with the police department, that higher up is over that commissioner, you know what I mean? Saying, hey, I want some guys' heads, or you have to do more training, or whatever the case may be, to see some difference. But I believe a lot of it starts with us we alienate ourselves from the system.
We cause more harm to each other than anybody else does.
We alienate ourselves from the system, so we don't get any help from the system. We don't use police in the capacity that we're supposed to use them, right? So somebody else uses them against us. You know what I mean? So we have to stop this here. Half of the stuff we done grew up on. I ain't snitching. Well, check this out. If somebody killed my son, I want somebody to tell me what went on. You call it snitching or whatever you want to call it, I could care less what it's called, because guess what? If your son was killed,
It's no longer snitching.
then
And actually, snitching is when you're part of it, but
I would say, hey, this is what I saw.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
it is. You can't, if I see something, then I became a witness. If I'm a part of it, I'm snitching. But y'all took that word and ran and,
Yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense.
but as soon as the table turns, you're the first one with the mic and the camera telling us, please, that's my, if you know anything.
Right.
But just a couple of days ago, you were saying how
When
that's
that person
snitching.
got killed that wasn't in your
Even though
family, you
people
didn't want to
see
snitch.
exactly what happened. They close their blinds, they shut their doors. I don't have.
They
no
tell
idea.
everything else.
And
I don't want
that's
nothing
one
to
of
do
the
with
biggest
that.
issues that we face in changing, not just with the youth, but with the state of our community. Period. Like he said, we are our own worst enemy, and a lot of the stuff that we go on is self-inflicted. because we don't want to talk. We had this crazy code that we live by that's so detrimental, right? That's so destructive that if we don't change it, man, it's going, like I said,
And
we
it's somebody else's code. This is what angers me. It's somebody else's code. This is a code that's been written into our brains from radio, TV, movies, mob movies. You know, our community is a big fan of mob movies, a big fan of everything that is not good for
not
us.
good for us.
You know what I mean? So we have to start doing better.
Yeah.
If you want somebody to say something about what happened to your child, then you should be willing to say, hey, this is what happened.
And it's funny, I asked the kids I mess with and I talk to, man, I said, listen, if you're not, if me and you home together,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm home this particular night,
Mm-hmm.
and you committed a crime.
Mm-hmm.
But they locked me up because they know I'm your associate, but I was nowhere near you when you committed that crime. Am I going to go to jail for 20 years for something I didn't do?
No.
I ain't saying nothing. I said, but you was home watching TV. Why would you want to go to jail for that?
Yeah, you
See,
should.
their belief system and what they stand for is so crazy. They, like I said before, they stand for
Absolutely.
non-existent virtues, man.
Absolutely.
They stand for stuff that's so like ludicrous. Like I'm gonna go to jail for something for 20 that I didn't even do. I was
Yeah.
home when you did that.
And you don't care enough about
Let's
me
wrap this
to
up.
see that they locked me up for what you did, and then you say, I can't let my man go down for what I did. Let me go and say, hey, he didn't do
He
what
didn't
I
have nothing to
did.
do with it. But they don't have that in them.
Everybody say, oh, I'm a man, until, you know.
You know what I tell people, man, even guys my age, like being a man is much more than just saying it. Your birth certificate, right? And your age might say you're a man, but a man carries himself in a certain kind of way.
A certain way, man, that
So,
yeah.
and I can say that because once I was willing to step into my manhood,
Mhm.
right? Once I was willing to mature into the man I am today, then things started to change.
Yeah, a lot of us, you know, like myself, I didn't always think this way. You know, I was part of the problem
Part of
at
the
once,
problem,
you
yeah.
know, but I recognized that I was part of the problem. Didn't want to be part of the problem anymore. I wanted to be part of the solution, and that's what I've been working for since.
And guess what? Guys like me and you now that we're trying to be part of the solution, sometimes they ostracize us, but I don't care.
Yeah, I'm weird, I'm corny, I don't care.
I don't care, but like I said, once I matured and I stepped into my manhood, I started seeing things, you know what I mean? I did find that flyer about that town meeting. On
Okay.
Saturday.
Mhm.
It's right here. What I'll do is I'll just text it to you.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up, just tell us one more time how people can find you.
My name is Derek Brown on Facebook. My Instagram is Cloud130962. My name of my program is Real Men Saving Lives. Phone number is 267-536-7464. You can reach out to me. I'm willing to help any youth, any young man, anybody that's struggling with the street life, can't stop doing drugs, just their life is in turmoil. I'm here. My program and the guys that are affiliated with me are willing to help you. Once again, Derek Brown on Facebook, Cloud130962 on Instagram, 267-536-7464. Real Men Saving Lives. Reach out to me. I'm willing to help.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you,
I
thank you,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
coming out here. I really do. So we can ready to take a pause for the cause, put some music on, and we'll be right back.